What up YouTube? Welcome back to a new video on the channel. My name is Max and today we're going to take a look at the new Apple Studio Display. After years and years of not having their own display, Apple at the end of 2019 released the Apple Pro Display XDR targeted, well, at pros. With a hefty price tag of $5K US and just ending above $7K with all the extras and the nano texture display, this is a niche product not for the average consumer. Fast forward roughly 2 years and here we are with a more consumer friendly monitor that starts around $1,600 US and finishes just above $2,300 US. The Apple Studio Display features a 27-inch 5K display, 12 megapixel camera with center stage, an amazing 6-speaker sound system and studio quality microphones. But before we get into the review, let me give you a little bit of context about my previous monitor situation, what I do on a daily basis with them, and what features I am looking for in a monitor and why I choose the Apple Studio Display. My previous monitor was the 49-inch ultra-wide display from LG, and before that I used two 38-inch ultra-wides also from LG. The two 38 inches were used in a dual monitor setup, one with a PC and one with a MacBook. The 49-inch was also used as a split device or as one display. Since I started working from home late last summer, I got even more cautious about my desk setup and what I use. And to be totally transparent about the LG monitors, if you're in the market for them, whether that is the 49-inch or the 38-inch, I could and would recommend them to you. Especially the 49-inch LG Ultrawide was one that I sought after for a long time, but it was never available, and in the end I used it only a little over a month before I swapped it out for the Apple Studio Display. My main use for a monitor is mostly admin work in Salesforce, working on emails, browsing, prospecting stuff, but also creative work after hours. But now is the question. Why did I swap out the 49-inch ultrawide for a 27-inch display? The main reason why I got rid of it is the way I look at the display over the course of the day with the slight curvature, viewing angle and the eye fatigue that I experienced on the LG display. It drained me a lot and got a little frustrating over time for me, but also the connectivity in terms of USB ports was an issue for me. All but one port are USB-A ports, the other is USB-C, but that is for power delivery and to connect your MacBook. No harm in using USB-A to C converters, but it also didn't let me use all the ports at the same time. That's it for the backstory, now let's talk the Apple Studio Display. As with all Apple products, it comes in a premium box and well packaged. You get the display, USB-C Thunderbolt cable and a couple of stickers and all the paperwork. A controversial feature is the permanently attached power cable that in theory can be removed, but you shouldn't. On the back you find 4 ports, 1 Thunderbolt 3 port and 3 USB-C ports. On the side there's nothing, it's a super clean design, and on top on the bottom you find the speaker holes. The display has a fairly slim bezel and at the top center position is where the FaceTime camera sits at. Depending on which model you ordered, you either have the tilting stand, the VESA mount, or the height adjustable stand. I personally opted for the tilting stand because I don't need the height adjustment and I don't need a VESA. Since this is my first display made by Apple, I was super excited without any experience or expectations from previous models. The design is clean, minimal and industrial, something you would expect from Apple, and the setup is actually pretty simple. Pop the power cable in one of your outlets and then connect to the Mac of your choice. The Studio Display is powered by the A13 chip and currently runs iOS 15.4 and updates are made through macOS software updates. Now since this is my first 5K monitor that is targeted at creators, rather than being an office monitor, my opinions are without any deeper knowledge of color accuracy compared to other monitors for creatives. But the obvious for me is that the display is extremely sharp with a 5K resolution of 5120 by 2880 and the colors compared to my previous LG monitors feel more balanced. Viewing angles are great whether you look from the sides, the top or the bottom, no matter how far you go. I can't see any bleeding on the edges or flaws throughout the panel and no dead pixels at all. The display features a maximum brightness of 600 nits, which is extremely bright for my office use, but there are probably a lot of creatives that get their use out of that. For my tasks, workflows and creative projects that I work on, the 5K resolution is great. I can pull up 4 windows and use them at a workable size during my workday, can use Lightroom, Photoshop or Final Cut and work on the timeline very nicely. And when I'm streaming I can use OBS, Brave browser for my music and other apps without any compromise. In the beginning, it was very awkward for me to go from a 49-inch curved display to a flat panel 27-inch, not only because of the size, but also from the viewing angles. But now, I don't see a difference, and I'm productive either way. But to be also completely transparent, I ordered a second one that I should be having in the office in the end of May, beginning of June. So I have 2 displays for co-working streams, but also for more productive reasons. The speakers in the studio display are amazing. I compared them to my previous LG monitor, my HomePod, the 13-inch MacBook M1 that I have right now, and a friend's new 16-inch MacBook Pro. The sound is full and not at all bass heavy, and at low volume doesn't sound tinny and doesn't easily distort at high volume. Only at max volume it does feel a little distorted into my ear, but I usually use the speakers around 40%. One of the most convenient features of the display is that you can use macOS shortcuts on your keyboard to adjust the volume, but also the brightness. But now, let's get to the negatives. One of the most annoying features is the permanently attached power cable. And as mentioned before, it can be disconnected, but I wouldn't advise you to do so unless your line is tech tips. I don't know who came up with that design idea, but for me, that's a decision in the wrong direction. Just like with the HomePod lineup, just let us have detachable cables to sort of cable management. The second negative is a big one. After iPhone and iPad cameras are getting better and better, the webcam kind of falls short. Although the center stage feature works quite well, to a point where it's almost annoying, especially when you're in long Zoom meetings, but the overall quality of the camera is just bad. A company that delivers an amazing camera system on the iPhone should be able to deliver at least a very good webcam quality. One other negative is that the Thunderbolt port on the back is only Thunderbolt 3, not 4. An SD card slot would also be a great addition, but due to limited space, I can see why they left it out. Overall, for me, the display does a lot of things right, especially the small things. The MacBook shortcuts, but also major features like the speakers, USB-C out on the back, and of course the panel itself. I edited the last videos with the Studio Display, and Final Cut is finally fun again for me. The microphone is also quite nice, but does not compare to a studio or podcast microphone like the Shure microphones. Starting at $1,500 US, this is, like a lot of Apple products, more targeted at prosumers. It is not attractive for everyone. But over the last 2 years, work from home, desk setup and creative workspaces have gathered a lot of interest throughout YouTube and the internet, and I think this monitor will find its way into many more homes. I also wanted to get this monitor to focus more on creative work and not get distracted with the likes of gaming. Although this is more of a mentality issue, since there's no easy way to connect or switch to a PC or gaming console, this gave me mental comfort and drive to pursue video creation and photo edits more and more. So, this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching the review of the Apple Studio Display. I hope you enjoyed this one and let me know what you think of the display and which monitor you're using right now. Thank you for the overall support over the last weeks on YouTube, but also on Twitch and Instagram. Leave a like, comment, and make sure to subscribe for more content very soon. Also check out my Twitch channel, leave a follow over there where I do co-working streams, podcasting, and occasional keyboard building streams. That is it for me, and I'll see you in the next one. I will cue the music. Bye.